this, remember?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You can sleep over if you want.
No. That's okay. They know already.
They know already? What the fuck? this guy's very open.
Yeah, we're very open. Yeah, so like the last 6 months, 9 months, I was like, okay, like I didn't really know what move to make, but I knew that something needed to change. And then eventually the chef called me into the walk-in fridge where all kitchen meetings happen. Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's like, okay, I just want to tell you, we're going to announce it to all the staff tomorrow, but I want to tell you just a little bit early. We sold the restaurant. We're going to have one more week and that's it. That's all.
Oh, okay. All right. We are here for episode 2 of the DNA podcast. I can not believe we didn't get canceled after the first one, but hey, we have a great guest today. Way better than the one of the first episode. Just joking, Alex. Thank you, because thanks to you and all of our followers, we've exceeded the expectations. We thought we were gonna do okay. You know, we said if we get like a dozen views, we'll be happy, but we exceeded that way more than we expected. So thank you for everybody listening. But with that, I did promise you an awesome guest today, and he is with me right now. He has been referred to as a juiced up beta male.
True story.
The squat master, Hitler's wet dream. But I like to call him my right-hand man. Here with me, Daniel Dreisziger. Did I say it right?
Not even remotely, but it's okay. Nobody ever does.
Right. Nice to see you, Daniel. See that?
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, first try. With Alex, we tried to do a handshake and fucked it up completely, but whatever. See, first try. Chemistry here. All right, Daniel. So we're going to go to learn more about you, what you do in life. How did you get so jacked and good looking? So let's start with this.
It's all natural. I never hit the gym in my life.
I jog 5K every morning, and that's it.
Yeah, and like 5 push-ups. That's
there. You go. So tell me, obviously, people know you work with us at DNA Fitness. It's been, what, 2 or 3 years? More than that.
4
almost. 4 years. Yeah. The pandemic kind of screwed me all
Sense
up.
Of time
but yeah, I'm like completely. I still believe I'm 40, but because I don't count those years. Right? We lost them. But tell me, have you ever always been into sports? As a kid growing up?
Sports, no. Physical activity, yes.
Okay.
Both my parents are Hungarian.
Okay.
So my dad was very big into the Hungarian folk culture. Like he was big in the community, organizing. Like there was an amateur dance group in Montreal. So he was the artistic director for that for a few years. So pretty much from about the age of 4, is like no choice. Kick you right into the junior group. That's it. That's all. Like you just go for it.
So you started dancing?
Yeah. So I was always always doing something physical, like amateur dance. Did that until my teens, and also neither of my parents were like super like sporty people, but you know, my mom walked everywhere.
Okay.
As kids too. It's like, okay, we're gonna go shopping for this one thing that's an hour and a half walk away. We get there in 20 minutes by bus. No, we're walking. We're gonna go walk across the mountain, up to the mountain, down, and just like find the most intense way to get there possible.
That's awesome because it was in you since you were a kid. It was put in you.
Always be active.
Active and all that. And also the dancing part, it explains why you're so coordinated. I'm telling you, you do the most precise movements at the gyms that I have ever seen. And I've been doing this thing for a long time, as you know. But yeah, that's great. So so you did the dancing, never anything like hockey or all these popular sports?
No.
Not even for fun?
I would just like a little bit here or there, but never anything organized. I was never in any leagues or like pick up games here or there or something like that, but that's it.
Cool.
I like confession, I suck at sports.
Oh, okay.
All show, no substance.
Who would never guess, because you look like an athlete. So
exactly. That's why I don't. Exactly. I'm always like, oh no, I'm tired today. Just keep the allure, you know.
But it's good, man. It's good. You found your way, obviously, into some sort of physical activity. So when did that start for you? When did you start having the desire? Was it at a young age where you said, oh, I'd like to hit the gym, but I'm too young or something like that?
Probably like I think the root of the desire was there from about late teens, very early 20s. Like I was naturally a very, very, like, the puppy dogs with the giant hands and the skinny little legs. That was always me. Like
Nice.
I looked like a twig.
Okay.
So I was always very self-conscious about that as a teenager, like very lanky, awkward teenager a little bit, as opposed to the charming motherfucker that I am now. So I think I always desired to do something about that. And then eventually there came a point where there was some change in my life and I was like, okay, now's the time. Now's the time to try. That was my mid-20s. And then
Mid-20s. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
that's when I first like got my official gym membership and started hitting the gym. And then it was, I wouldn't say like a straight line from there. It was obviously a little potholes here and there, but
yeah, we all hit those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But more or less from there on in.
And you were with a partner going to the gym. You did it by yourself. What gym was it?
So what happened is, for those who don't know, like in my late teens, I got into the cooking industry.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
from about the age of 18, almost 19, I got my first job in the kitchen. And then it's like I fell in love with it. I was like, okay, this can be my career. And then I worked my way up the ladder. Started in a restaurant called Brunoise. Worked my way up the ladder from like kitchen monkey to almost quasi sous chef.
Cool.
For over the course of about 4 years. And then the restaurant got sold. And obviously the whole place was getting shut down, everything. So I was like, okay, you know what? I've felt in a bit of a rut. 4 years is a long time to be in one place, especially in the restaurant industry, where it just tends to be a little bit more turnover.
But you were doing like the same thing for those 4 years? Is that why you felt a little like in a rut, like you're saying?
Not necessarily, but
you're still progressing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I started at the bottom, then did like appetizer station, then veg station, then the meat station, which is like more the sous chef's responsibility.
Okay.
Then, all of a sudden like being in charge on like Mondays when the chef went home early, that kind of stuff. But
Nice.
the restaurant was getting a little bit slower, and as tends to happen with places, and you could feel the whole vibe, the energy in the restaurant was kind of starting to be like a little bit stagnant. And obviously that wears out, that washes onto the employees as well.
You feel it, yeah.
Yeah. So like the last 6 months, 9 months, I was like, okay, like I didn't really know what move to make, but I knew that something needed to change. And then eventually the chef called me into the walk-in fridge where all kitchen meetings happen.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's like, okay, I just want to tell you, we're going to announce it to all the staff tomorrow, but I want to tell you just a little bit early. We sold the restaurant. We're going to have one more week and that's it. That's all.
Oh, okay.
But to me, it was actually like, obviously it was a bit of a shock, but it was actually like a catalyst for change. I felt I needed some change.
Okay.
This was a good catalyst. So I don't know why the idea came to me. I honestly have no recollection why, but I decided at that point, I'm going to need to travel, experience different cuisines, how different countries organize their kitchens, be someplace else. And I decided to move to Australia. So I moved to Sydney, Australia, lived there for just over a year, just on a working holiday visa.
And why Australia?
Beautiful, sunny, same language.
Yeah, I hear a lot of, like, I have a few friends that have done that. They're often tell me, oh, it's because it's the furthest place away from here or something like that.
There's an element of that as well.
But it takes courage to be 24 hours in a plane there to get there.
No, it's not easy. That part's intense, and the jet lag is next level.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh,
like you wake up
like a day, right? Or
it's a day 4 there, and then you get it back on the way back.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway,
so did you start there?
So when I moved there, and then first I found just like a stage, like an internship to do one place, and then for a month, and then another place. My first plan was just like have a list of places that have very good reputations, that are obviously like top-notch places. Work for each place for a month, just learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
And that was my initial plan. And then about a month or so, 6 weeks, I don't remember exactly, after I moved there, I was like, okay, so I found an apartment to live in. I've got my first internship lined up. Okay. I've always wanted to hit the gym. It's sunny, it's warm. It's more of it's easier to be active.
Yeah.
Like there's more of a culture of activity. Exactly. Everyone looks good. So I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do this. Now's the time. So I got my first gym membership. Just started going on my own, not knowing any clue what I was doing. And then what happened is the second place I was doing my internship actually hired me.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, I can actually afford to get a trainer now. So then I got a trainer. Name was New Zealander, but an ex-rugby player by the name of Monty.
Okay. Nice.
Giant beef, like just beast of a guy.
Great trainer named Mountie.
Yeah, exactly. Very bodybuilder style, but for a skinny teenager, it was perfect. It was just exactly what I needed at that point. And then I got my ass kicked thoroughly. You know, we all remember that first time in your life you've ever done a leg day, and it's like, I have a clear memory of also kitchen work is relatively intense physically, so I have a clear memory of like not necessarily the first ever leg day I did, but pretty close to, like maybe first or second I ever did with a trainer, like doing it properly, not just like a few random sets of like, I wonder what
leg
this
press, you know,
I wonder what this machine does, but like actual proper training, like a program and everything. So I remember at the time in the afternoon for the prep portion of the kitchen work where you're preparing vegetables or what have you. I was working in the semi basement. And just because I had a lot of work to do, I get all my tools, everything, like a big tray, everything I'd need, and I go down and I try to make as few trips up as possible. This is just for efficiency's sake, right?
How many steps down?
Not that many, like a dozen. Okay. Like it was one flight of stairs, right? One small flight of stairs. And I remember I forgot one thing, like one bowl that I needed for all my different mixing. I had everything. I had my routine. You know, you're doing the same thing every day. It's all about efficiency. And there's one thing for some reason I forgot. And I actually cried that I had to walk up the stairs one more time. That's how much my legs hurt. Like it was probably one step at a time. And it was like not dramatic, like actual whimpers. Like
every step.
Yeah, every step.
I thought you were gonna say you fell down. That's why I thought it was going, because you know your legs have buckled before. Even now we're experienced, and like sometimes you go like, oh, you know, as I'm crossing the street, sometimes you're like, holy fuck. This almost went down, but that's a cool story. So you go there, you do your kitchen thing. What made you want to come back?
I was starting to miss home a little bit. I almost stayed.
It was just you there.
Yeah, just me. Just went by myself. I was 24 or 25. 25. Okay. When I moved there. I don't know. I definitely almost stayed, but then like I really, really respected the chef I worked for there. It was a very, very hard life, a lot of work, but very talented head chef, very, very good restaurant. So I was thinking of like getting a sponsorship, staying there, and it was very tempting, but I'm starting to miss home a little bit. And then there was a big shakeup in management. Like the chef announced that he was going to move with his family to England. Okay. They bought a farm. They're going to move to England for like a few years to grow their own vegetables and live the farm life for the kids and everything. Yeah. Which is cool for him. But then, you know, it's a big shakeup. Like they hired a new chef. This new chef, though talented, this is his first time ever being a chef. So you go from somebody who's led like top level, like he's been head chef in multiple Michelin star restaurants in London and everything. So he was like the kind of person, I actually don't even remember his name. That's how it's like everyone called him chef. It's like you don't call him anything else. Like exactly, just one of those kinds of people to like somebody, again, talented person, but a little awkward, a little new, didn't know how to handle the team. Then all of a sudden that comes with the politics, the vibe change. It was less of like, oh wow, everyone's like inspired to work for this very inspirational, very commanding figure. And all of a sudden it's like a little infighting and bickering. I was already a little on the fence, and I was like, okay, no, I think maybe it's time to go back home. Yeah, it's time to go back home. I was missing my family a little bit, etc.
So at that point, you're about 27 years old, something like that?
I moved there, I was stayed just over a year, so 26 when I got back.
26, okay. So you come back here, what do you do? What's your first move? Do you look for another kitchen job? Or
yeah, well, I had a job lined up already.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sort of, like what was happening is, at the time it was actually perfect. Like when I was coming back, my brother was... So when it worked out magically. Like sometimes I feel like when opportunities come to you in life, things just fall into place.
They do.
When I was leaving, my brother was moving back to Montreal after having lived in Europe for 6 years. Okay. With his then girlfriend, now wife. So I was like, okay, perfect. You can have my apartment. And then when I came back, they just bought their first place.
So they move out.
They were moving out, and I moved right back in. And a good friend of mine, like one of the old sous chefs of the first restaurant I ever worked in, who went off and opened his own restaurant and everything, was like, well, my sous chef is going to travel through Thailand for 5 weeks or 6 weeks. And this was in January. Yeah, I chose to come back from Australia in January. Very clever. was like, if you want to fill in for 5 weeks, at least you have a paycheck lined up right away, you have something to do right away, and then that gives you time to find something. So again,
Awesome.
everything just fell into place.
Okay, and did you end up staying there, or you found something else?
I don't think so. No, I think I lined something else up. I don't even remember the chronological order exactly. I think I went to work at the St. James Hotel.
Okay.
Memory serves.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I worked there at that point. I did end up working for this old friend of mine, Benoit, numerous other occasions, like I think at least 2 other times. You know, every time it'd be like, oh, you know, this place closed. He'd be like, oh, I need somebody, come work for me for 6 months, that kind of thing. So on
That's
and off,
awesome.
I think
And
I've worked
it was
for.
always as a sous chef.
Yeah, once as a sous chef, once he already had a sous chef, so we were like kind of sharing the position. But yeah, usually in that kind of role.
All right. So, and now here's what I want to do. I want to get to know you without you being necessarily prepared for these
Okay.
things. So I'm going to ask you some questions that I will pick from the Truth or Swear jar.
Okay.
I call this segment Truth or Swear because we're gonna get the truth or somebody's gonna swear.
Okay.
Either you, me, somebody at home, somebody will swear. I guarantee it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you these questions. If you're not comfortable answering them, you just have to pick of one of those from that jar that says fucked up jokes. It says
like it.
fuck up jokes, but I'm Latino, so
Yes.
I fuck it up sometimes. So you get whatever you can answer, or however long you want. Be comfortable. If you don't want to answer it, there's no problem.
Okay.
So let's get started. I'll take this jar for me. I'll just pick randomly.
What jar did you take, Daddy?
What? Oh, I took the Truth or Swear jar, which contains the questions.
Awesome.
And there's another jar with fucked up jokes. If Daniel chooses not to answer the question, he has to say one of these off-color, non-PC jokes. Might get us canceled. All right. Oh, this is a good one. You know the game Fuck, Marry, Kill?
A bit, not super well though.
Okay.
Oh
so,
no, actually I do. I know what you mean.
So
Yes.
just to tell the people listening. So I'll give you 3 names and you have to choose one that you will fuck, one that you would marry, and the other one you would kill.
Okay.
All right. So
Just out of curiosity, can you fuck him and
kill him after?
or the other way?
It could be all 3 if you want.
Nice.
So the first is Margot Robbie. You know,
You're gonna tell me all the names first.
Yeah,
or-
and then you tell me like, so you know who Margot Robbie is,
Obviously,
the girl
yes.
from what's it, Harley Quinn,
Harley Quinn,
Harley Quinn, yeah,
Wolf of Wall
gorgeous,
Street.
gorgeous.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, Gal Gadot,
Okay.
good. We know who Gal Gadot is,
Yes.
and Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg is the environmentalist.
Yes.
Okay.
So you gotta decide.
The thing is, that's not fair though, because she's underage, isn't she?
Yeah, but it's up to you. If you don't feel comfortable answering, you just have to pick up.
You doing okay over there?
You can kill her.
No, I
It's
don't want to
pretty
kill her.
fucked up, but-
She has the same values as me. All right, let's go with. All right, it would be a little bit intense. I'm going to go with marry her. If obviously assuming legality is not an issue, because
Okay, you'll wait for her.
yeah, exactly. I'll wait for her.
That.
I
got you out of that one.
She's very intense, but I agree with her message 100%.
All right.
So a lot of similar life values, whereas the other ones are big fancy stars. Maybe wouldn't share a good life together. You never know.
There you go.
And honestly, the other two you could just like throw a coin at the wall. I'd be
Both gorgeous and both deserving of being killed.
more of the first one, and the second one would be a loss to humanity. But you got to do one.
All right. Hey, good on you for answering. That's pretty cool. We're gonna do a couple more here because we have some fun here. Let me pick another question from the Truth or Swear jar. Okay. In the accent you imitate the best, say
God.
the following sentence. Lift weights, get dates, bro.
God. I don't do any accents well, so this is gonna be horrendous.
You can choose from the save yourself.
Tell me to me again, so I don't mess that part up. At least, even if I'm messing up the accent.
Oh, lift weights,
Yeah.
get dates, bro.
hey, lift weights, get dates, bro.
Was that Italian?
I don't fucking know. Like, it doesn't matter what I intended it to be.
Somebody swear for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. Fuck, this guy has balls. I like it. He just answers. So you're afraid of what's in there, right?
No, not really.
That's what's by the way, those are not my jokes. Before, if you pick
Oh,
one,
now I am afraid of them.
I just went online and tried to, find offensive shit. Okay, if you could erase one of these countries off the face of the earth, which one would it be? No, if you could erase one country
Oh, Jesus.
off the face
There's not
of
a
the
list.
earth,
I just have to pick one.
yeah. Which one would it be and why?
I mean, obviously, that's quite harsh because there's plenty of nice people who live in every country.
You say? I don't know.
Let's go with
Never getting views from that country, by the way.
no. Let's go with
Greece. No, I'm joking.
No,
I'm joking.
no,
I
no,
love my
no,
Greek
no.
people.
no. It's okay. They're right. They're right. They invented butt sex. It's fine.
And yogurt, apparently.
Let's go with France, only for the Parisians.
Oh, look at that. And the bonus is that John is there right now, one of our favorite clients. so it's
Beautiful.
even
2 for
better.
1. You see, when things fall in place, they just fall in place.
Fuck, all the French people hate us right now. Those two listeners.
Listen, I worked in the restaurant industry. I've worked with a lot of French people. Most of them hate French people too.
I've heard that a lot about Parisian people, and I went there when I left there, when I left the gym in your hands there. So okay, so here's the next one. Who in your spouse's friend circle would you like to have sex with?
Okay, well, Jesus.
You're going home after this, remember?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You can sleep over if you want to.
No. That's okay. They know already.
They know already what the fuck. this guy's very open about.
Yeah, we're very open.
You
It's
know
fine.
your friend Carol. Fuck, she's hot, huh?
That's fine. We're very open. Oh, well, you know what? There's no chance she'll ever see this podcast. So probably Thai.
Thai.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you don't
her
know who
name?
that is. Yeah.
Okay. She from.
No, she lives like in one of these small islands off England.
Oh, nice. Well, hi to you, Thai.
Hopefully
careful.
not. Sweet Jesus, I hope not.
Careful, Daniel wants some of you. All right. These are too much fun, so let's do one more. Your worst sexual experience of your life.
Okay, well, this is easy because it was actually with my better half.
Okay.
So I don't have to embarrass anybody else. It's mostly embarrassing myself. So, sometimes you're in the mood. Your other half is not. Sometimes you're like, please, baby, come on. It's been X amount of time. I really need to. So
That's how marital rape
yeah,
stories
pretty much. So the other half
start.
begrudgingly but bitterly acquiesced. And a few minutes into the action, one of the cats hopped on the bed and vomited on us. And we're like, well, you know what? This wasn't going great anyway.
Oh.
Let's call it a quit here. So yeah, that was definitely the worst sex of my life. When it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Don't force it.
No. You're not into bestiality anyways, right?
No.
I once had a dog lick my foot as I was but in his defense, I was doing doggy style, so
Easy
He
mistake.
thought,
Easy mistake, yeah.
thank God I was on the bed so he couldn't climb on, because that could have been a different story. But yeah, good on you. You answered all of them. Now, just for the fun of it, why don't you pick one?
We have to
joke?
do one,
Yeah,
yeah.
just one.
I'm
you
curious.
know?
Do I want a thicker one? Because is that a sign of a better joke?
Not necessarily. They're okay.
Oh, okay. All right. I respect this one. It's horrible, but I respect it. What's the hardest part of a vegetable to eat?
Oh, that's perfect for you.
The wheelchair. That's pretty bad.
For a vegan, it's fantastic. All right. Well, that was fun. And when do you decide, okay, well, now the kitchen, it's been done or whatever, you get fed up of it and you go like, okay, I'm transitioning into fitness.
So ever since I got into the restaurant industry in my late teens, my ambition was always I don't always want to have a fixed goal for my future, but I like to have like a general thing to work towards. like goals in a gym. You know, you want to have a general plan to work
Yeah,
towards.
exactly,
Keeps you
yeah.
motivated. So I always wanted, it was always in my mind, I want to be a head chef by the time I'm in my 30s, early
Okay.
30s, mid 30s, something in that range. So when I was 32, 33, something like that, probably around 33, I did end up becoming a head chef. Like a
Nice.
place I was hired as, the titles can be a little weird, but I was hired as like the chef de cuisine, but there was an executive chef who like made the menu and stuff like that at a
Okay,
place.
I get it. But you still ran the place, kind of.
But then he ended up, after a year or so, he ended up getting a teaching position. So he like passed the reins completely on to me.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, it wasn't like quasi, it was full on running the ship.
Yeah.
And I did that for, I think about probably around 2 years. And I gotta say, like, my passion was dying a little bit by that point. It's a tough life, and it's very hard to do the kitchen life and maintain a healthy work-life balance.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get a little draining for me.
Socially also, I know.
Socially,
like,
like I'd see
hard.
my circle of, not my kitchen circle of friends, but my other circle of friends, like once a week on a Sunday afternoon, maybe every second week.
While you're all tired. And
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
Yeah.
Didn't have time for any other hobbies. I was still staying active, but I could, like, you could really feel it in the workouts. You know, when you finish it at 1 a.m. the night before, and then you wake up in the morning, you go do your workout, and you're supposed to reach this weight on your deadlift, and it's just not happening. You're like, I just didn't eat enough yesterday. I'm too tired. I didn't sleep enough. It's like you feel those, and I was starting to be consistent enough in my workouts that was the deciding factor.
Okay. That you said, like, I don't want this to affect my workouts. So.
Yeah, it was not necessarily that I didn't want it to affect my workouts per se, but it was a sign to me that this is not something you can do forever.
Okay.
You know, I was in my early to mid 30s by then. It's like, okay, do I see myself living the rest of my working life like this? Like, you know, always being a little tired, not having enough time, not feeling like I have a good balance, always feeling like a little bit of resentment in the back of your mind. It's like, you know, I'd like to have like an evening to see friends, or this, that, or the other thing. And obviously the only way to be successful in anything, but in the cooking world as well, is more responsibility. But more responsibility equals like, oh, it's my weekend, but I have a menu to make. I have these suppliers to call. I have the schedule to make.
So
it's
you
like,
don't really have a weekend,
Not really. You can't just like unwind. I mean, you would know yourself, you're a business owner. It's a little bit the same thing. There's always some random person calls you at 7 a.m. because the door doesn't open.
They forgot. The keys are missing or whatever. Yeah. Thank you, Alex. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. So also, I imagine that type of strain, like that life, we spoke about it with Alex last week, where for your love life, also it's hard, right? Yeah. Were you dating at that moment, or like
when I switched careers, or
no, when you were like head chef and doing all
these
things?
I was married already by that point.
Look at you! You got married early, like
in 2016. So
but you were how old?
2016, I would have been 32.
Okay.
Yes. So not that early, but we'd been together since I was 29. So
okay.
We really did it like by the book, you know, date for a year and a bit, get engaged for a year and a bit. Like, you know.
Sounds like the way you are, you have a plan right there.
A little bit, yeah, a little guilty of that.
It's good. That's what trainers do. Like even myself, I know I seem a lot unorganized, but in my chaos, believe me, there's a system, and the end goal is always there. It's always in the back of my mind. Okay, like in fitness, right? When somebody comes in and they say, I don't know, I want to lose 20 pounds. You put that here, and then you build this three that's gonna get you to that point. But you know, it could be one day we do boxing, the other day we do powerlifting, whatever, and we get there. So when you meet this person, obviously you fall in love and everything. That type of life was hard on your relationship?
Well, I was fortunate enough to get married to somebody who at the time was in the restaurant industry. So we had the same schedule. So
you married your boss?
No. Almost the other way around.
Okay. Oh, look at you.
A little bit.
You could be Me Too? Is that still a thing?
No.
No.
I was smart. I got my better half a job somewhere else.
Oh, look at you. You're fired. But I'll marry you. That's fantastic. And from there, so you decide, okay, I've lived my dream. I became what I wanted, which congratulations, by the way. I didn't know you went all the way.
Thank you.
And I think that's something often, like, as you know, I play ball hockey, basketball, all these sports. And I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough in my life to win championships. And there's always a drop off right after. So you lift the thing and you're like, and everybody's high-fiving. You have the party. And then, okay, now what? It's like, I'm back, you know? So Is that something you experience with?
Very much so.
Okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily just like as you say, though there was an element of that too. It wasn't just the like, okay, well, I've gotten there, now what? It was also, it kind of gave me a little vision of the future. It's like, okay, so I have this thing that I wanted. Now, if I want to continue being more successful, that means like a bigger restaurant or more, or like a chain. Yeah, more commitment. It's like, oh, wow, even less free time. Wow, even less sleep. Like I was like, okay, so either I stagnate, I'm always like, the chef of like little nice, but like smallish neighborhood restaurants, or, you push on, you try and go for like more, exactly, which comes with more stress and more work and more responsibilities. So I was like, okay, so it's either plateau out or live a life that I don't think I actually want to live anymore.
Okay.
And it is a bit of a young man's game. Like most people I know, even relatively successful ones, either they become super successful and like you're not behind the stove anymore. You have your books and you have your restaurants. I'm not saying those people don't still work super hard, but like it's not the daily grind. Or they move on to like teaching, and again, that's hard work, but teaching in academies, like just not that daily grind as much.
Yeah, exactly. And you get stable hours and everything.
Exactly. And the majority of people I know who don't do one of those two things kind of end up a little worn out, or a bit bitter, or alcoholics, or some combination of that.
Well, we've trained plenty of head chefs here at the gym, and they'll tell you openly, like, I drank a pack of 6 beers last night because I couldn't take it anymore and stuff like that. And obviously it's hard for their training and stuff like that. But it's a hard life. It's very hard. You don't see it from the outside, right? You just go when you enjoy the food. You go, oh, this chef's amazing. He must be getting paid well. And I'm sure they do. But there is a price to pay with that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you decide to make the move. What's your first step?
Well, actually, I didn't. So what happened is, again, opportune moments when you feel like you should be making a decision. And my better half was pressing me. It's like, you're depressed. You're not happy anymore. You're miserable at this job. It's obvious. Like, you should make a change. And I was like, I don't disagree with you, but I don't feel like the time is right now.
Okay.
And I think I've been very lucky in my life when I've had those moments when I feel like something's not quite right. If I can kind of feel when there's an opportunity coming to some extent. I don't want to give myself credit because it's not like I'm feeling the opportunity. Is just like I don't feel like the timing's right, and then somehow things just sort of fall into place. So again, I got the business was starting to die down a little bit by then, and I got a call one afternoon from the owner of the restaurant being like, I've decided to sell the restaurant. I've had a reasonable offer. So I just want to let you know first, et cetera, the whole spiel. We're going to close in 2 weeks for our last day of service, et cetera, will be this day. So he thought I was supposed to be like all sad.
And you're like, yeah.
And I was just like, oh, thank God, this is amazing. So what I did is, this was in the fall, like late fall, that the restaurant closed. So I just went on EI, like the whole staff got laid off, everything. So I just like, it's so rare in your life you get the opportunity to just like take a step back.
Yeah.
You're not
take time for yourself.
Exactly. Even if it's not great money, but it's enough that you're not stressed about like paying your mortgage and having enough to eat. So just
plus you've contributed to it so much, like use it a bit.
Exactly. So I was like, I'm just going to take 3, 4, 5 months, just the winter effectively. I'm just going to try and figure out what I want to do with my life. I don't think I want to get back into restaurant business. I mean, maybe I do. And during that time, like first I just did like
fuck all,
all day, every day. I hit the gym every day.
Well,
obviously
there's that.
But that mean that's for me being on vacation. Is hitting the gym. Like, that's the best. That's the best stuff.
Best life.
Exactly. Wake up late, have a coffee, have a bite to eat, stay on the couch with the cats for a few hours, and be like, drag your ass down to the gym, do a few chest exercises. Only the stuff you won't feel like doing because you're on vacation, right? And then that was pretty much my life.
You say cats, we're referring to animals?
Yes. Actual
not
cats.
Women or stuff like that?
No.
Okay.
Actual cats.
Okay.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do at that point. And my brother who, I'd mentioned he lived in Europe for a while. He was a professional dancer.
Okay, cool.
And as a lot of professional dancers do, he ended up making the transition from professional dancing. Again, it's a young man's game. There's only so long you do
your
it.
Body breaks down. Yeah.
He ended up becoming a Pilates instructor. Yeah. And since then he's opened his own studio and now has 2 studios. So very successful. And he was like, you know what? I really think that not necessarily Pilates, but like something physical. I think you'd be good at it. And at the same time, my better half was like, I think you'd be good at something physical. Have you thought about like being a personal trainer? So, you know, when you have two people whose opinion you trust and you value and they're
and
like,
know you like,
and then know you very
deeply,
well.
you know,
Exactly. Like from both corners, you're like, okay, maybe there's something to it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the certification course at the YMCA. Like it's like depending how you take it, it's like a 6-month program. I'm like, I'm going to take it. Worst comes to worst, I'm going to learn some fun information. It's going to help me for my own workouts.
Exactly.
And I'm just going to see if I like what this could potentially be as a career. And the rest is history. Like fell in love with it. That's pretty much it.
So that's awesome because well, I know the rest because I think I come in
close, pretty close in that story.
Pretty soon. But just to close up the chapter on the cooking, you kept going to restaurants, and I guess they got successful enough to be sold and whatever.
And more the other way around.
Oh, the other way. Was it because you were dating people inside the restaurant?
No, it's because I'm a terrible cook.
Did you fuck it up completely or no? No,
it's because I overseason everything.
So that's what happened. All right. And can we mention these restaurants or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They no longer exist?
No, the ones that were sold, no, because they were sold.
They changed names, and
which happens a lot in the restaurant industry.
Okay.
So the first one I ever worked. It wasn't the first restaurant I ever worked at, but the one that I worked at for the longest time before I moved to Australia was Brunoise. It was in, on Saint Andre, like in the plateau.
I think I heard the name.
It was pretty big at the time, yeah. Like when it first came out, it was the two owners were Zach and Michelle. They had worked at like Mediterraneo and for that group of restaurants. The same group as you worked for back in the day.
Yeah, I know.
So they went from that. Their first place they opened was Brunoise. It had a pretty good reputation. Like it made a big. They had ended up opening a brasserie, etc.
Nice.
And then, you know how it is, like in the Montreal restaurant scene, like something super hot, and sometimes
and then it dies out.
Yeah, it dies out a little bit. Maybe you tried to change. Like they tried to make it a little. They were very very casual, high end, and then I think they tried to make it a little bit more like tasting menus, stuff like that, and it just didn't quite stick. Timing was a little bad.
It wasn't as popular as now. You know, these tapas places are blowing up everywhere. Back then, you know, it's like people wanted quantity or something over the taste. Because you have delicious restaurants now where you go and it's bites here, bites there, but they're all good. You
know. So again, it was like a question of timing, and they were opening their second restaurant exactly as things were dying down a little bit. So I think like their energy was all in the new one a little bit. So who's to say what happened? Like there's so many factors. So that was there. The place I worked in Australia was called Rockpool.
Okay.
Which is by like a very, very well-known, owned by very well-known Australian restaurant mogul called Neil Perry. You know, I don't know how many restaurants he has now, but he had probably 16 or 17 at the time. No, it wasn't that many one time. He'd had 16 or 17.
Okay.
He always had like 4 or 5. Very, very good restaurant. It was considered in the top 50. It was in the list of the top 50 best restaurants in the world at the time when I worked there.
Until you got there.
Right before I left is exactly when I lost the list.
Oh, okay. That's not
so again,
bad. That's not
over
bad.
seasoning the food. Exactly. And then the last one that I was chef of was on Laurier, like near Park. It was called Wilfrid sur Laurier.
Yeah, I knew that one. Oh yeah, okay. So I might have eaten there while you were.
Hopefully not, because like I said, the
over seasoning. That's why I never went back.
Exactly, probably.
All right. So you didn't cause the closure of these restaurants, fortunately. Well,
hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Now you are done. You decide, okay, I like the gym. I want to get into the fitness industry. What's your next step?
So after the
course, obviously you're certified now, and
I was continuing to volunteer at the YMCA, like do a shift a week on the floor.
Yeah,
and I definitely wanted to. What was the next step? I don't remember. It's a bit of a blur. Because I don't remember having like even putting out a ton of feelers or anything. I was just like wrecking my brain a little bit how to get started, and it was through our mutual friend Rachel.
Yes.
That who I'm friends with through a good friend of ours, Brian, who I'd been friends with like, my God, 20 years, something in that ballpark, probably more actually. And so, you know, friend of a friend, and she knew that you guys were a little bit understaffed, so put us in touch.
Yeah, she was training here at that point, and she left the spot. So So yeah, I remember her saying like, "Oh, do you need somebody?" And we're always like, looking for good people. And so you make the call.
Mhm.
You say, "Hey," and we schedule an interview. And do you remember what happened at their
I
interview?
do. You never showed up.
So yeah, I was a little late.
Yeah, a little late.
Like
By a
day,
week.
by a week. Yeah, I remember clearly. I remember being on my bed, you calling and being like, "Yo, I was supposed to be here for an interview," and I'm like, I wanted to. I lived across, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was 5 minutes away.
So I was so dead. I was like,
Because you were getting over, you were on meds and everything. You were getting over a bad cold, if memory serves.
that because I was doing both shifts, so I was coming in early, stopping for a nap in midday, and going all night.
That's harsh.
So we needed people, right? So I'm like, yeah, dude, can you come back?
Yeah.
And I I didn't know
Yeah.
you would turn out to be this great employee, but at the time I was like, wait, if he tells me to go fuck myself, he's within his right. But
In my head, I remember at the time, I was like, well, I don't think this guy actually wants me to work
Yeah.
here very much.
So that was funny because I did not show up to that interview, but hey, you persisted. You came the following week, I'm guessing.
Something like that. I don't remember, but probably.
And yeah, we hit it off, and you've been a success ever since. Like I said, one of the best, at least when it comes to the technical aspect of it, one of the best I've seen, and it's been 4 years now.
Almost, because I think I started in October, if memory serves.
All right. Do you ever have like regrets? Do you ever say like, I should have stayed in the kitchen, or?
Oh my God, no. No, that life sucks by comparison.
Yeah, we have it pretty good here. Like, I mean,
not bad.
it could be super hard if you go like.
Absolutely.
Remember when I left for 2 months and you had to take all my clients?
It's a bit of a blur.
Yeah, that could suck if so.
Yeah.
But you make the money. I always tell my people when they come and ask for a job and whatever, you can make as much money as you want. How much do you want to work? Because every client you have is more money.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to fall into that pitfall that I did, that you did, where you overbook yourself and then like you get sick. I end up getting sick all the time when I do it too much.
I still clearly remember when you guys were gone. So at the time I was working from 7 to 9 at night, like 7 in the morning to 9 at night, something in that range. I think the big long day like that, I only did 3-4 times a week. And then the other days I managed to try and schedule most of your evening clients into those 3 days. I still remember at one point I fell asleep while training a client. Like it was Fred? No, it wasn't Fred. Your hockey buddy.
Costa.
No.
Ferez.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I remember
he told me. He told me about it.
Yeah, so I remember he was lunging, and I didn't just like fall asleep. Like, okay, you go finish that. I'm gonna go take a nap. No. Like I legit leaned against a pole, and while counting his lunges, I drifted off.
You're counting sheep.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so that's 1. You have 3 left. 2. I was like, yeah, okay, that's
It's a clear sign. It's time for Dane to come back.
This is a bit much. This shouldn't be a regular part of my life.
Well, hopefully, thankfully, it's not. So, so now you've been here. I gotta say, ever since you started here, you've been, like I said, a success and all of that. But you weren't in the physical shape you were now. Obviously, you're always in great shape. It's not an issue. But the pandemic hits. You're like left with the cats and the spouse, and I'm left with the kids and the wife and all of that. What happened there that made you like? Because I feel like you took your training maybe because you had way more time, but like to another level. Yeah. What happened in that period of time?
A number of things. I think part of it was, in the very beginning, I was very focused on building my, how do you put it? Reputation, I guess.
Yeah.
Like building myself professionally, so I would never say no to any client if I could possibly make it happen. So if it was like, a Tuesday and you're going to come in at 7 a.m. for one client and then go back home and go back to bed.
And then you have one at 6
Exactly. My policy was like, if it makes remote sense, I don't say no. Just because, you want to see as many people as possible. You want to get as much experience as possible.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the guy that's giving like mixed messages like, I can't. It's like, you're available.
Yes.
So I was really, really focused on that and like increasing my skills, everything. And I wasn't as focused on my own training. So I was calling it in a little bit. I was still training regularly and everything, but I didn't have a program I was following exactly. It was just like,
Yeah, you
this
just
week
do,
I'm just going to do like 4 times 6 of mostly everything. It's like, I didn't do legs this week. I guess I'll do some squat, this, that, and the other thing. It's half-assing it a little bit. So that was one part of it. Another part of it was during the pandemic, obviously no one had access to gyms for the most part. So
except for us.
Yeah. Shh, don't tell people that. So I started doing yoga just at home every day, like 5 to 6 times a week, but like 45 minutes an hour, like a serious amount.
Nice.
And the first couple of weeks were agony.
Okay.
And it's like, you're like, oh, everything really hurts and this is really hard.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. Yoga is horrible. It's so good for you, but it's horrible.
And then it's like anything, you do enough of it and they're just like this. I remember there was a clear moment when I think maybe it was like in a down dog or something, and just like my body went and just melted right into it.
Nice.
Like, oh, that's what it's supposed to feel like. Just repetition.
And you progress fast. Like I was amazed. Obviously, my flexibility wasn't very good before the yoga. And then I did 3 months, I think, of it. And then I couldn't believe what I could do. It was like, holy fuck, this is...
And it's such a good feeling.
Like, yeah. I can't wait to get back. Well, actually, I'm lying. I hate it, but I'm going to get back into it. Because
the first few weeks is going to suck. After that, you'll love it again.
Yeah, no, for sure. So just to clarify, I said before that we had access to a gym before we get a fine there. It's not like we were coming and partying it up here. No. We would come one... tell the other one, hey, when are you coming? Then tell the third and the fourth, fifth person, hey, you can't come in at this time. I'm here. We're very cautious with COVID. Obviously, with me having asthma, my kids having asthma, I was very careful with everything. And we had an anti-vaxxer in the group. We won't say his name. He was here last week. So we were careful and we did not break any rules. I don't think I never seen you break any rules. You're always like so like.
I can be a little by the book sometimes. Yeah. It's almost detrimental.
Yeah, but those are the best employees. Yeah.
For employees, yeah, absolutely.
It's the fucking best. All right. So you booking up an interview with me. I don't show up. Finally, I show up. We start working. Then you do great. You develop your clientele, your skills, everything. You got better and better and better. The pandemic starts. You get in the best shape of your life. I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm right to assume that. That is the best shape
absolutely.
of your life. Now,
well, we can come back. I don't want to interrupt you, but there's one other person I should give credit to for it, but continue.
Okay. We're talking about Peter here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to avoid him, but...
The conversation altogether. Yeah.
That's okay. So, yeah, it was going to be that. So, there were, like... Everybody I know, except for people in fitness, during the pandemic, gained weight, lost motivation, and it's very understandable. I mean, it was like dark days.
Like the yogas weren't so bad. The home workouts.
Oh my God! Like if it wasn't because it's what I do for a living, I could see myself not doing anything. So So what kept you motivated? What made you be like, okay, I'm gonna get in this fantastic shape now, other than the fact that you had more time?
Again, it's kind of like my attitude to most things. Like I want to have a bit of a direction to go in, even if it's not a concrete plan. And I find like physical ability is one of those things. Once you've felt that you can do something, whether that's a sprint, a squat, a position in a flexible position, like a deep stretch of some kind.
You want to get there.
And once you've gotten there and you felt it and it feels like you feel at home in it, like you've owned it a little bit, it's normal. You get busy, you prioritize certain things less, but obviously the less priority you make something, it starts to scale back a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
And like a certain amount that's a logical amount feels fine to me. It's like, okay, so my hamstrings were a little bit more flexible when I was doing yoga every day. They're a little less flexible now. They're still perfectly flexible. I'm happy with them. It's fine. Like there's only so many hours in the day. But once it gets to a certain point, like I'll wake up and I'll be like, you know what? I'm not okay with this feeling right now. It's stiff and there's like a little bit of stiffness I'm okay with, or like a little stiffness, I did legs the day before. It's normal. It happens. It's good. It's a satisfying feeling, right? But there's certain things I'm just like, okay,
I'm not good with this.
No, this I know. I felt what it feels like when I'm happy with it and when the body feels good and it owns it. And this is not okay. Yeah,
you don't want to go back to that.
Exactly. So that in itself is my motivation. It's like I I can feel when something's lacking, or I remember the feeling of the success. Well, success, that makes it sound like it's a finite point. The process of getting towards something, and it feels, when you feel at home in it, that's such a good feeling.
It's the best feeling, yeah.
Exactly. And the opposite
because you owned it.
exactly.
Right?
And the opposite is true when
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I haven't squatted in a week or whatever, and it's like, leg day was supposed to be yesterday, I skipped it. It's not a good feeling.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Often I'm like, how crazy I am. Sometimes I'll be working out at 1 in the
Yep.
morning, and like that's probably what I'm gonna do today. But I gotta get it in, because I always tell myself the feeling that you feel the next day,
Yeah.
compared to being a little tired or like, it's nothing. I would rather do it, because the next day I'm gonna feel, and people will look at me and be like, "Well, you're fine. You're still
Yeah.
fit or whatever." But you don't get it. You
Yeah, it
want
doesn't
to
feel
be
the same.
there, and,
Yeah.
and if I said that I was gonna do it, I have to do it.
Yeah.
There's no escaping that. If I do it at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, I don't care. I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I understand you when you mention these things. Now, we mentioned him before. I try to avoid him, but Pierre. I see you guys working together all the time, and it's something that I noticed that it made you even stronger and
yeah, for
better. And how did this come about?
So Pierre he is a Pilates instructor, ex-dancer, blah, 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 all kinds of things. So he was a Pilates instructor working for my brother.
Okay.
And I used to train, I still do Pilates roughly once a week. I think of it as like maintenance. Like
Okay.
I don't necessarily go for progressing that much in the Pilates movements itself. I think of it for just like,
Keeping what you
exactly,
got,
like going into the mechanic to get things checked out. It's like it stabilizes you, works the core a lot. It helps you coordinate, be better, more coordinated, have smoother looking movements, etc. So I think it's a very good accompaniment to training, as a great many things are. So I used to do Pilates with my brother roughly once a week, and Pierre was working as one of his, amongst other studios
One
as
of
well,
his
but
coaches?
one of his coaches, yeah.
Yeah.
And he had been very active most of his life, but he had gone to osteopathy school.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was very time consuming, obviously. So he completely stopped training for I think 4 years, 5 years, gained a bunch of weight,
Okay.
etc. So he was like, okay, I need to get back on this. So he was looking for a coach.
Okay.
He had a friend of his that he was exchanging sessions with, and it was working well, but he wanted like another
More,
coach,
yeah.
more
Yeah.
stuff like that. So he saw me doing Pilates at my brother's studio and was like, okay, well, for a muscle head, that guy actually moves relatively well.
Yeah.
So then got my info from my brother, contacted me, said he'd be interested in like training once a week or something. And he was training with another friend another time a week, and that would let him progress a little bit. And eventually, at first he was just a customer, and eventually we were like, okay, well, how about we exchange sessions? Like he trains me in Pilates once a week. I train him in,
Yeah.
and then he was like, I'd love to train more. How about if instead of you training me, we just switch, like we work out together. That way, still your workout, it doesn't take up
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
but we do like a 2-for-1. I
You're
was
gonna
like,
do
yeah,
it anyways. Yeah.
exactly. I was like, okay, sure, that's fair enough. That sounds good. And the training partner will keep me honest and stuff. And then kind of progress from there. And now we do probably like 80% of our workouts together,
Nice.
which definitely helps keep you honest.
Obviously, it keeps you motivated.
Yeah.
He pushes you, and in this time, how many times did he hit on you at the beginning?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
No, it's because he knows my brother so well.
Oh, so he was.
And he's
told-
like, no. He's like,
Oh.
I feel like you're my brother. Like, I'm not going to hit on you.
okay, he doesn't want to get too freaky.
No, exactly.
Okay, for him, that's saying something.
It is, yes.
Shout out to Pierre, anyways. Now, you've been again very successful at both careers now. Where do you see yourself in the future? Kind of a question. When are you leaving us? I can start freaking out now.
I actually haven't thought for one of the rare occasions in my life, I don't necessarily have like a super long-term goal or plan per se.
It's probably because you like where you're at.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I can see you're pressing me that way, but no, like for real. Just as much as I enjoy my job and I enjoy my industry, this industry that I work in, I like my life a lot right now.
Yeah,
Happily married,
nice.
got a nice house, well, nice apartment, but anyway,
Fantasizing about Thai and
not too often. Like lovely cats, like a good life, a decent life, a work-life balance. Feel the
Nice.
best in my body I've ever felt, in the best shape
Yeah.
probably of my life, and most things. Obviously, sometimes you can do one thing a little bit better when you concentrate on that.
Yeah,
But globally, I'd say best shape of my life. I really don't have any complaints, so that's why I'm not like thinking or dreaming about the future too much. It's like more of the same as.
It's good with
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I find myself in this. Obviously, we undertook this this podcast
Yeah.
challenge and everything, but I feel kind of the same way. I would like to work a little less because I'm still very overworked. I feel because I'm lazy, but same thing. I'm like, yeah, things are good. Like I want more of what's happening. You know, like
exactly. Like
you just
there's a little mini goals in
yeah,
there, but
yeah, like, you know, make more money, like everybody. You know, be healthier. Go with the workouts being a little bit more serious, all these things, but those are minimal things that the core of my life is like very, very, I'm very happy in it. And I feel I'm rewarded with it. All the work I've done in the past is now coming to fruition, and I'm like very happy. So I do understand you there. Now, like I said before, every couple, we're not a couple, but we're a couple of buddies, work buddies, we see a lot of each other. Everybody needs therapy.
yes.
So this is, I'm too cheap to pay for therapy. I'm not gonna give you any what do you call that, when when you get like
Benefits.
Yeah, you're not getting any benefits. This is my way of giving you benefits. So I'm gonna have you choose from the therapy jar.
Okay.
And this is gonna be something that's very hard for us males to do.
Okay.
Give each other compliments.
Okay.
So you pick something from that jar, you read it to me, you mean it, you don't laugh, keep a straight face.
Okay. No
and
promises.
if you do so, I will give one right back to you.
Okay.
All right. So
And I have
right
to stare
from the
longingly into your eyes while I do it, right?
Well, yeah.
Can we dim the lights a little bit?
This is where you're gonna make it pink, the lighting. already.
Face. Oh God, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Okay.
I'm here waiting. It's a little offensive, but
I honestly don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. Okay. I want to vomit a little bit. Okay, here we go. You are the tidiest, most organized person I've ever met.
that is very
God, that
true.
was the hardest thing I've done today.
That is very true. You do not deserve a compliment back because the fuck. Let's try for another one.
Is that something I can actually pull off, maybe?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, this is a long one. But these are all ones that you're supposed to be paying to me, though. Okay.
Oh, I'll give it right back. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You just have
All right.
to, you know.
All right. Before meeting you, I thought that Adolf might have been onto something, but now I realize that whatever race you are is the superior one.
There you go. See, that was honest. And yes, I have to say, I thought white guys were lame.
Mm. It's
But,
kind of true. There's a grain of truth to it.
Yeah, but I've grown to like you as a person, find you cool.
Despite the
Love-
whiteness.
Yeah, despite the whiteness. And I think I've grown to like you so much that I'm almost like I'm very close to becoming a Nickelback fan. Very close.
That's a high compliment.
Yeah,
That's a high compliment because
yeah.
they are atrocious.
For I thought you loved them. You played them
No.
24/7.
Not even a
Dan
little
is a
bit.
Nickelback guy.
There's
apparently.
one song once. One song
That
once.
was one song too many, Dan.
One song once in 4 years. I haven't lived it down. Jesus.
All right, let's go for another one.
Oh, sure. This I can do. If I weren't already married, I would get down on one knee immediately.
Oh my God, I like how we didn't hesitate. Just
Man,
I
this-
would
it's
do
a
it.
stud we got
problem.
over here. What are we
there
talking
you
about?
go.
All men want to be him. All women want him in them.
Holy fuck! I hope everybody's listening except my wife. And you know, I see you work out often.
Mhm.
You wear negligees like you do,
Yeah.
like you're doing right now.
If you got it, flaunt it. That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I said. I've never been attracted to a man,
Mhm.
and I still ain't.
Mhm.
But if it would be anybody, you're first on deck.
Well,
See?
we
No,
say
no,
on
no.
deck, but more like
Yeah. Well, Well, yeah. It would have to be that definitely. So these are fun. Let's do them all. There's
Wow,
two
there's
more,
one
I
last.
think. Oh,
One more.
one more?
Okay. I never thought that I would idolize and admire someone so much before I met you.
Look at that. It almost seems legit.
My poker face has gotten better since the first one.
Yeah, I know.
It helps. It helps that he doesn't read them first.
Yeah, it just goes. Yeah. He found the trick. The first one he stuttered so much because you read it before. Just go with it. You know, like, you've been married for a while. You know what this is.
Just go straight into it. It's fine.
So, what was the compliment? Fuck, I forgot.
I never thought I'd admire.
Oh yeah,
idolize and
yeah,
admire
yeah,
somebody.
yeah. Hey, you know what? I do admire you a lot. I admire your work ethic. I can't believe, like, I've never seen somebody take so much care of their body. I've seen you work on your toes, for God's sake. And
Important part of the body.
yeah, and build yourself up. And I wish I had that discipline. And I probably eventually will get into it once too many things start hurting. But
Once your body gives you no
yeah,
choice.
like you have to do it. Like my hips, by the way, are starting to cry. They're starting to tell me it's time to do something. But yes,
They're telling you
yoga. Yes, exactly. I have to do it. But yeah, you are so focused, and I admire that. And I hope you never lose that drive. And I hope you keep getting better and better. I don't know what's in the future. One question I would have: do you want to get any bigger? Is a fitness competition in the works here? What would?
No, definitely not a fitness competition. I mean, bigger. You know how it. I mean, you know how it is, right? You're always like, 2 years ago, I was like, I'm perfectly happy with who I am now. Like, you know, there's always the little thing, like maybe a little bit bigger guns, maybe a little bit bigger this, that. But I'm
like
perfectly happy.
slightly,
Exactly. And then I've probably gained about 5 pounds of muscle since then. And now I'm like, pretty happy with how I am now. Maybe just like a little bit bigger guns.
Another 3, 4. Yeah.
So globally, perfectly happy. There's always little tidbits that you want to gain. For your second question, a fitness competition? No, I really don't think so.
You don't enjoy them. You have your critic of it.
I very much admire the amount of work that goes into it, because that is hard. Like, you cannot make any mistakes. Every morsel of food that goes down, every movement you do, everything's planned, and like you're taking your mental and physical body to its limit. So kudos to everyone who does it. It is extremely hard. For me, fitness, being fit, everything is about health and making your body a better version of itself in terms of, like, you know, if a squat hurts your hips a little bit, if you don't feel like you're getting deep enough, whatever, what can you do? How can you analyze, figure out what the problem is, what things you can work on, try and make that movement, own that movement, and make the body move in a fashion that it's designed to move, that you're born to move in a little bit, something a bit more natural to yourself. I feel like fitness competitions, not to take away from the amount of work that goes into them. Yeah, I feel like it's gotten a little bit far away from like the health, like the level to which competitors, the more successful competitors have to dehydrate and everything. That's not health anymore. So
and without mentioning the use of steroids and stuff like that. That's where I always, because I've trained people for fitness competitions, but it's always been women. Yeah. And no, it's not because I want to see a bunch of women in bikinis, because I've done that, and it's one of the most boring things I've ever had to sit through in my life. And we won all 3 competitions we entered, and imagine even there I was bored. Yeah. Like you experience the biggest thrill of the competition and you're still like bored, you know? So it's not something that I enjoy doing. I'll do it if somebody is their dream, like their objective really to be on stage and do it. I'll gladly do it for them. But I've always specifically chosen women, because guys, I feel there's always going to be that gray zone where you go like, hey, if you want to go a little higher, well, you're going to need to take some of this and some of that. And it always gets weird. So
and as much as like 90% of them are like, oh no, I'm all natty.
Yeah. And
90% are, that's for sure.
Yes, exactly. And I know you can achieve like very high goals naturally, but there is a certain limit. I mean, if you want to go for Mr. Olympia and these things, like there's no way, chance. Right? So and it's cool, because our next podcast will be with a former bodybuilder. So just a shameless plug for next episode. But on that note, Daniel, It's been great talking with you. I hope you stay in this bliss of good life and
Thank you. I hope
remain
the
with
same for
us
you.
yes, and remain with us for a long time. Because I hope there is another employee like you out there. But I've done a lot of interviews and hired some people, and you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, and I call you my right hand man, not for nothing. But I really mean that.
Thank you.
On that note, anything you want to plug, say, I don't know, if somebody's looking for a program, somebody's looking to find a coach or like reach you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can always reach me through the DNA website.
Okay, cool.
Is the simplest way, probably. I generally, like, my philosophy for how I train my clients is very much how I look at moving as well. It's about, yes, if you want to lose 20 pounds, absolutely fantastic. But that's not what excites me. That's not what's will get you there, because it's your money.
That's what you,
exactly.
That's what you paid for.
But for me, it's all about how can we get the body moving
the right way.
Yeah. How can we get you feeling more at home in your body? How can we get the body moving more fluidly, a happier body, basically? And that weight loss should be a byproduct of that.
Yeah. Because that type of training, although, like, you know, sometimes I'm conflicted. Somebody comes in, I want to be able to do this by that date.
Yeah,
I have
no choice. You're going to have to.
You have no choice. You get it. But while you get there, you also go like, damn, when this person lunges, her knees go to the inside. And yes, you can tell them, but if you don't really work at it, you have to correct the movement. You have to correct the posture and all of this. So it's always conflictual, but I appreciate the way you do it. Yeah. To really build the person for the long run and not just for a short-term goal.
Like short-term goals, it's slower, which is why most people don't enjoy working like that, because it requires patience. But I'm always like, I mean, the first year, there's plenty of other people who are going to get you where you want to go faster. Yeah. But if we work well together and you're precise in your movements and you enjoy the process, long term, I feel like it's the tortoise in the hare, right? Yeah, no, for sure. And also, like, we see so many times fantastic transformation, 3 months, 4 months transformation. And though that is impressive,
it's good, and you put a lot of effort into that and all of that. But a year later, you're back at almost at the beginning. You know, like you've lost all your gains and stuff like that. As when you take it the other approach, which is not as sexy if you want, because it doesn't go as fast, but it's something that will last a lifetime. Exactly. So completely agree with that. I mean, you can lose 20 pounds, or you can learn how to squat. Like, give a man a fish, teach a man to fish, kind of thing, right? Exactly. It's a great way to finish on. So listen, this has been fun. We have to do it again down the road. Whenever you want. And thank you for being with us. And we'll see you, everybody, for the next one. Ciao. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more content, click right here for another exciting episode right here. If you want to get in shape, sign up for our online fitness app using the link in the description. Finally, help support us by liking and subscribing. And if you don't want to do none of that, well, at least keep making it happen.